he was going to ask me, was I going to read this? Like he's going to read it. Amen? Well, you know, this is a time that I really love, and especially when it comes to honoring someone. And my mother, her name is Willie Faye Scott, and she's sitting right there. And I would like for you to stand. Even though she don't want to, but I want her to, because, see, I have the control now. So, it says, behold, children of heritage from the Lord, the fruits from the wombs, a reward, like an arrow in the hands of a warrior, or the children's of one's youth. Blessed is the man who filled his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speak, when the enemy's in the gates. That's Psalms 127, 3-5. I didn't tell you to sit down. Come on, stand up. There you go. See, I like this part right here. Y'all have to excuse me, but I'm never a person that gets embarrassed or nothing like that. And she knows how I am. She really can sit down, but I just want her to stand up because she likes to be in control, and so now I'm the one that's in control. So I just want to say that. And then this right here comes from the oldest to the youngest, and everyone wants to know if Kirby is the oldest, I'm the oldest, and so you will find out here. This is from her oldest daughter. She said, she finally let me go date. She trusts me. But little does she know that I attend parties with my cousins and hanging out with my future husband, Bobby Wayne Clark. Then again, maybe she knew it all along. And she did seem to know everything. And then she says, after my husband passed away, I found comfort in talking with my mother every evening, which prepares me for a good night rest. I always look forward to hanging out with my mother. We laugh, we talk about politics, we speak of God, His grace and mercy. That was Kelly. This is from her second oldest. It says, as children, our care is constant and our environment is stable. Always. And then there are rules, 4 too many. And I tried to break all of the rules that I could. And thanks God I'm allowed to brag about it. And then she goes on to say that I will always remember when my son was going to be deployed to Iraq. And she said that she could not sleep for days. She said my mom, she got in her car, and she said she loaded it up with food, of course, that she cooked, because my mother, she loves to cook. You see how fat I am. And she drove 100 miles from Tyler to Arlington just to make sure that I could get some sleep. And that's from Carla. Now, this is from her other child. This right here is going down. He says, as a single parent, he's talking about his mother. She somehow managed to keep us all out of trouble, put a roof over our heads. She became ill at an early age, and despite her disabilities, she did not fall apart. She is more than just a great mom. She is above and beyond. And today, being a father of two men, I for tribute keeping me motivated. I want to know if he know what that word means, because I don't think I asked him later. But now you know who is the oldest. That's Kirby. Now from her most handsome son, and from her most favorite son, and the one who did not give her any trouble at all, I said, the best memory is being home. Is bringing home my report card. See, I've told this story many times, and my sister said, you gonna say that? I used to make F's and D's, and see, at that time, passing was 60. And I tried to get close to 60 as I possibly could. And my mom, she would get fed up with it, and she would say that every time the phone rings, she just know it was my Aunt Frankie. She was a school teacher that wasn't my teacher, But she always kept up with me with the other teachers. She always wanted to whoop me to discuss my grades. And my mother, she was so afraid to answer the phone. Back then, they didn't have caller ID. My childhood was the best because my mom is the best mom. As a single parent, she raised us as very successful adults, and I appreciate her love and support. If you take a mother, and most of you know that my mother, she had a stroke at an early age, and you take from that being a single parent, she has Kelly, which is a nurse, and she has the next daughter. She was into writing newspapers and stuff. She was a journalist, and now she's a nurse. And Kirby and I, we have been driving. Kirby has been driving for UPS, I think 31, 32 years. And I have been driving trucks for 28 years off and on. And these are from her memories from her grandchildren. These is Kelly's daughters. These are from the oldest to the youngest. Brenda says to Granny Faye, she said, Granny Faye, she said, you tricked me into eating my vegetables, but you could make a casserole out of anything. And Brittany said, Granny Faye, do you remember when I was driving with you and you was in the passenger seat? Instead of me hitting the brakes, I hit the gas, and there goes the fence on top of the ground. Corey said, oh, Granny, you make the best pound cakes, and you did give me a few spankings. Kobe said, you remember that rat poison that I ate? And she said, what? He said, it wasn't the rat poison, but you tried to kill me yourself. Kalisha said, Granny Faye, I never read a book, but then I found the money in between the pages, quote unquote. Caleb said, every Thanksgiving she makes me my favorite casserole just for me. Mom, we just want to say we love you, and we know that all that we said today is nothing compared to what you really are. And we just, from the bottom of our hearts, we just thank you for being our mom. Amen. Mom, before you sit down,
brother, I just want to say that it don't take a man to make a man. You made two good men. I want to say thank you, and we love you. Amen.